on our own supplemental applications, I hope to build some excitement, you know, especially some of these newer girls, or maybe even some of us older ones that enjoy the research. And we're just chit chatting, Darlene, about this contest this year on the supplemental applications. And what I was telling Cindy is my real desire is that we'll get excited and people will go, oh, this could be fun, and then they start talking to their friends, which starts building more excitement. And with the America 250, it could be a really cool recruiting tool while we're also learning how to do genealogy. So wow, there you are. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Are you going to be at Fall Forum?
I absolutely am.
Good. Okay, I'm going to have a booth.
I'm going to have a booth,
Now, what is yours for? What committee?
literacy promotion.
Oh, wonderful. That is great. I think I remember seeing that now somewhere. Yeah.
I'm going to act like I know what I'm doing.
So are you going to go in the contest for the education theme? You
Um,
should.
we're going to encourage people to participate.
Okay. I'm looking forward to seeing what you got together. Um, I I did share last meeting. I want everybody to come by the booth and get a red cape. We've got a little logo and a slogan now. And let's see if I can pull it up real quick while we're still getting people to come in. I like it. But our slogan for the committee is have no fear. The VGC is here. So
Well, that's good.
I am enjoying it. I'm having a lot of fun with it. Let me see if I can pull it up with what our little logo looks like. Where are you? Computers, we get to keep so much stuff, don't we? Come on, you. See our little slogan logo.
Oh, that is so cute.
So I'm gonna have they're cheesy, but it's so much fun. I'm gonna have little red capes with Velcro dot attachments to where everybody can come and get a red cape and be a hero. So you guys got to come and get your cape.
I am.
Well, I know Lorene's with us. She's muted, and I don't know if I think I got an email or a message from her saying that she was having some things going on. Yeah. Just got somebody else that joined us. Lane, awesome. But I can say, well, we're getting people in place. I was telling Cindy, Barbara Jurors last meeting, she's like, I can't believe you guys are going to have a meeting on the Tuesday before Fall Forum. And I'm like, why not? What have we got to lose? It's just time that we can ask questions and get together. I had no idea what we were going to be talking about or covering. Hang on. I'm getting an email. Somebody's having a hard time climbing into the room.
Oh, there we are.
Hi, Lane.
Hi. Thank you for sending the reminder. I had, it never got onto my calendar for these Zoom calls, and so now I have it.
Well, good. Hang on. I've got this kind of interesting message.
Susan Dobbs.
Yes, it is from Susan Dobbs.
Hi, Susan.
Hi, Lorene. How are you? I
Wait,
can
can
hear
you get out?
you. I'm sorry, what?
Can you hear me, Susan?
Yes, We can hear
Okay,
you.
I'm talking to Susan Dobbs on the phone right now and she's trying to get in. And
I
I
just, I just replied to her email with the link. So she should be able to just click on it and jump on in.
I don't know why am I in the meeting?
You are, but you don't have a view. Do you have a camera on your, are you on a computer
Oh,
without a camera?
no, I don't know. Somehow I think it's turned off accidentally and I don't want to look for it now, but I don't know how to turn it on.
Okay. Well, I miss
Sorry.
looking at you.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so I don't remember where I was at or what I was talking about, but let's just go ahead and get started. I did send out the information. Let me turn off my email. I got Susan's a link sent to her, but I don't want to be distracted anymore. I did send out an email with the idea that we're going to be talking about the South Carolina Outstanding Volunteer Genealogist of the Year Award. And I put it out on Facebook too. And Lane, you said you don't, it's not on your calendar on a regular basis, these meetings.
Well, no, I mean, I hadn't sort of put it down, so I haven't been joining the Zoom meetings, which I have, and so I will do so in the future.
That would be wonderful. I'd love to have you here. It's good to see you. But usually we have more people than this. So you've joined us at a perfect time to where you can just interact at will. Anyway, let me give you a little bit of back history. Okay. The Volunteer Genealogists Committee has been around for a while. I don't know how long, but as you guys know, the way I look at it is the volunteer genealogists are the helpers and the teachers. The lineage research is more the hardcore research, you know, when you're really in trouble and you need some help, or you feel like you've got the skill set where you can dig in and really help with, especially hard AIRs and stuff like that. That's the difference, even though we work very well meshed together. And that's why Barbara Jers joins us a lot. She's an expert. She's probably, well, she is the best that we had last year. She won the Outstanding Volunteer Genealogist of the Award of the Year award last year. And the committee is not well known. We're trying to get it some presence and some, you know, catching up to speed a little bit, and I'm enjoying that. But also the award, what happened in, I don't know how far back, but this used to be a national competition. And I found out last December from my division leader that it is no longer a state competition or a national competition. I'd never heard of it before, so I was like, okay. She said, but there's no reason that you guys cannot do it at the state level. And she was talking to all of the state chairs of the volunteer genealogist committees. And so I was like, I don't, she wanted us to tell her what we were doing, how we were doing this award, if we were doing it. And so it would have been easy for me to go, well, we don't do it, so we don't have to do anything. But what I did is I got a hold of all of, I interacted with the other state volunteer genealogist chairs and asked what they thought. Well, what I got is you've got to make sure that it's fair, that it's equitable, that you can explain it, because the reason it sounds like to me that it got destroyed is it got to be a popularity contest. And that's not anything that, we want when it comes to awarding someone for being an outstanding member of a committee. And so, and we used this form last year. We had 3 nominations, and the points that they had on their nomination form, the only thing that would change is if they took an additional class. So what I'm saying is these are forever points. Every year, anytime that we get a nomination form for an outstanding volunteer genealogist, these points they accumulate and they're always going to be available. The rest of the points are for that current year's work. And so that's why it's different to show that. In the current year, this section here, these are all earned points on the right. And these are for accomplishments, working as a volunteer genealogist for a chapter, working on the lineage research team. We're going to get through all this, but you kind of get the idea of this is within the current year. And this is a continuation of things that we as genealogists for the DAR can do that would earn points towards this award. Then it gets down to workshops. And how many workshops have you given? Are they for in your chapter or outside of your chapter? And then this one down here is letters of recommendation. So let's break it down. Oh, down here is just instructions on whoever the person that is nominating another person is for, or for themselves, you know, the instructions on what do you do with this form and when to send it in. So going back up to the top, of course, you put in the person's name. That a person's name would be in there that's being nominated, their number, their chapter, and their chapter regent. And then I don't think I need to explain each of these courses, but do you guys, by looking at it, have any questions on what these points are for? Susan Dobbs is coming in finally. Lorraine, you can relax.
Yeah, but I can't get in, but anyways, okay.
Okay. Well, can you see us?
Yes, I can see
Okay.
you.
All right. So here we've got just the primary 8 GEP courses and the amount of points that they have. So like for here, we could put in 2021, let's say, that Susan took the GEP 1. So that would be 25 points because it says so right here. And let's say that she took in 2025, she took this, so that'd be 25 points there. So you see how it accumulates down here. So there's not only are these completions for the GEP courses, but also attendance at the GRI is another category that counts and acquires points. I don't know that I'm in favor of it, but we've decided to keep it because, like I said, this was one that, you know, I'm trying not to exclude anyone, but yet include everyone that's done something that would be of value. And I don't know if anybody here in this room took these courses that you would have to travel to DC in order to take. But there was a 4-day genealogy consultant class. And both of these were canceled in 2011, so they're pretty outdated. But the DAR is saying if these members went through this level of effort, then they get these points too. And we'll always have them. Susan, did you make it?
Finally, I
Good
had only had
here.
Saturday's link, and that's what you sent again. I never got today's link from
Oh,
you.
I'll have to check the distribution list. Sorry about that.
Thank you. Are we on the master chapter report?
No, this looks a little bit like it. What this is the South Carolina Outstanding Volunteer Genealogist nomination form. I just got through explaining you're not going to find this in the NIP or the SIP. I'll be talking about it at the booth. And I've actually emailed 9 regents who have got members who have started working on things here. So
How do we get this form?
well, I can send you the form.
Okay.
Okay. So these are all for points for courses that have been taken. And then down here, if you have an assignment as a volunteer genealogist, I will tell you right now, South Carolina has only 3 members that are assigned as assigned volunteer genealogist. In order to be an assigned volunteer genealogist, you have to have completed GEP 1, 2, and 3. We have a lot of chapters that are in need. And if you want to help another chapter and you're not a registrar of your own chapter, then please come see me. And then you end up working depending upon what the situation is. And of course, anytime there's a need, it's going to be unique and different. Clay is right now an assigned volunteer genealogist to the Issaquena chapter. And so their registrar is very busy. She's got a full-time job, little kids, you know, that part of her life. And Clay has stepped in and kind of doing the job-ish of that. When I say ish, it depends upon the chapter and the assigned volunteer genealogist as far as how much, how little they want things to go. Donna Eisen with the Elisa Lucas Pinckney chapter is assigned to Fort Sullivan chapter. Deb Sutherland, the registrar, reached out to me. She was our first assigned volunteer genealogist. Deb Sutherland said, I am not in crisis, but I've got a lot of work to do. I've got 21 applications on my desk, and every time I take 5 off, 21 or more appear to where 21's my number. And so if I could have some help, I'd appreciate it. Don Eisen and Deb Sutherland met, even though they were in different chapters. They lived in the same neighborhood and hit it off. They've got this great relationship going on and have asked to extend because they are at the end of their 6 months automatic. Once it's accepted, and the regent of the chapter that's asking for help allows it, and the state regent, which of course would be Alice Caskey, allows it, then it's just a flip of the switch at national. And what that does is it gives the assigned volunteer genealogist access to image access so that she can do a better job, as good a job as possible, so that she's got those tools. It also, in her profile, shows that she has done this, and that's a wonderful thing to show in your profile. So that's a 25-pointer. Lineage research virtual support team, supplemental application virtual support team are things that if that was an interest that you wanted to have, you would have to get in touch with those committees and say, how do I get hooked up? I've not heard of a need on a lot of these, but it doesn't mean that they wouldn't appreciate someone that is willing to help out. Serving as a balcony volunteer at Continental Congress, it's only for that current year, and you get 10 points for that. Balcony volunteer just means that you take, I want to say it's a 2-hour shift, and you're either in the library or in a quote lab room that they've got at the Marriott, I think it is, that just helps people that come in and have questions about their applications or their AIRs. You're just there in real person since you're at Continental Congress to help out people. There is a call every year for Continental Congress. They are looking for boots on the ground, if you will, to hold somebody's hand to help them out. I've done it for 2 years. I think you have to do it for 3 in order to get the pin. There is a beautiful, those of you that know me know that I do like my pins, and I'm not going to try to tell you there's a pin for this, but yet, it's kind of nice to know if you're like me that like your pins. So there is a pin for that, but you have to do it for 3 years. Serving as the national chair of a genealogical committee would take a special request from the national level. So usually, but still, if we've got somebody in our state that was serving as a national chair of a genealogical committee, we would want to give them credit for their work that year. State chair of a genealogical committee, we've got 6 genealogy committees in South Carolina. And so any of those committee chairs would get those 10 points for doing that. Serving as a member of a national genealogy committee, we've got a couple of members that are doing that. And I didn't even know until I started digging down for it. Because the genealogists, a lot of times, are not the type that toot their own horn. They're more excited about getting the work done and getting the accomplishment feeling, but they're not like, I did this, other than, well, I found that record. They're not out there saying, I'm important. Serving as a chapter chair of a genealogy committee. Lorraine, can you hear me?
Yes.
So you're the lineage research chapter chair, are you not?
Yes.
Okay, so this is one place where you would pick up those 5 points right there. So there's, like I said, like 6 different genealogy committees throughout the state, and not all chapters have all committees, of course. But if you are a chapter chair of any of those genealogy committees, then you get 5 points. So let's say that you've got an interest in DNA as it relates to applications. Your chapter may not have a DAR and the DNA committee, But you could always go to your regent and say, I am interested in serving as the chair of this committee. And there you go. Once that's allowed, then you would be able to pick up those 5 points. The Registrar's General's indexing project would be something through Genealogy Preservation Committee, and I don't believe they've got any work going on right now. However, if they did, then those people that would be working on that project would be able to accumulate those points. EAPS, did somebody say something? Okay, you guys can, you know. EAPS, rumors have it very strong that EAPS are going to be, they're not right now. You can't do EAPS because they've got the whole system down there revamping the whole system. But this fall, they're going to be releasing a whole new system for EAPS. They will be looking for mid-level reviewers at that time. Supplemental is reviewed for South Carolina State Mid-Level Review Project. Again, once the EAPS are available. We do have a state application team, and so if you wanted to be a part of that, I could hook you up with who you should talk to. I've not heard that there's a need. And I don't know if we have an application task force. I've not heard of one this year. There have been in the past. If you help a new member with an application for another chapter and you are not the volunteer genealogist, assigned volunteer genealogist to that chapter, not a problem. For every new member application that's completed, you could earn 5 points. Barbara Jers was our outstanding volunteer genealogist of the year last year. And you guys, she blew me away. She had 485 points. I mean, that is a lot of points. When I first was aware of this award, I'm like, oh, Barbara Jers, of course, we should just give it to her. And then I was like, I'm so glad we're going to do this fairly, that we're going to be doing this right. And then it's not going to be able to be competed or scoffed and so Barbara Jers, Regent, nominated Barbara, and she's like, Barbara, I need you to present me this information. I need from you how many workshops you've done for other chapters. I can count how many workshops that you've done for our chapter, but I don't know about this. And I need you to do this log. Well, Barbara sat down and she did her log. She had done 10 workshops for other chapters. There's 200 of her 485 points right there. But I hope you guys see how important this is to help the whole state as far as if we've got a person doing a workshop for another chapter, that helps. And it also is something that person putting together the workshop should get credit for. And that's what this is for. And then letters of recommendation, which I thought was interesting. But again, this shows that myself as the chair of this committee, and I'm collecting these papers, I'm not being biased. If there are letters from a member of the same chapter saying, I believe this person is a great volunteer genealogist, or a member from another chapter, do you start seeing here when there's so many points given to this, is that a big emphasis is placed on reaching out beyond your chapter. That's why workshops to other chapters or districts get twice as much points as a workshop led for your own chapter. And this is the state award winner, person receiving the highest number of points, just point blank. There's nothing else. Everything else is weighted. There's nothing else to do. Must have 250 point minimum to order the Outstanding Volunteer Genealogist pin. Again, that kind of shows you that they think a good outstanding volunteer genealogist is 250 points. So Barbara did knock it way out of the ballpark with her 485 last year. So that's kind of the form and kind of the program about it. Do you guys have any questions? I think it covers a lot of areas that could give us places that would be interesting to talk about, like this assigned volunteer genealogist. I don't think that I personally look at the statistics for a lot of chapters and see, oh, they haven't had any growth for 5 years. They haven't had any supplementals for at least 3 years. What's going on and where do they need help? So I do look at that. What I don't have readily available is people that are saying, we've got a great registrar, we've got a lineage research committee chair, we've got a volunteer genealogist committee chair, we're all good. There's really no room for me in my chapter that I can help. I'd love to be able to go and help another chapter. What I typically end up doing when I see chapters in need, because I'm looking at their statistics, is I start looking in their district for somebody that's trained by having taken GEP 1, 2, and 3. Then I go and I look at other things like, do they have supplemental applications that they've completed for themselves? Sort of thing. Do they live, it needs to be, in my opinion, it needs to be in kind of the same district. So I don't need someone that lives in Charleston helping someone from Greenville. I would be okay with that, but it would be a lot better if I could get someone from Spartanburg helping someone in Greenville. So what I've done right now is I have sent out 9 of these forms to 9 different regions for people that have served or are serving on a national committee, or that are serving as a state chair of a genealogy committee, or that are doing the assigned volunteer genealogy assignments. Now, for those people that have done just training, no, I'm not, I will do all of that. As far as filling in the training that's been completed, I can do that. But I'm not sending out all of these nomination forms to regions just for that. When I see that there's somebody that's going a little bit beyond, I am. I feel like I'm not getting a lot of excitement out of this, you guys. Do you have any questions or comments, ideas, thoughts, challenges? What do you think of the program?
I think it's valuable to recognize people, and I think this is a good objective way of doing it, and evaluating an individual. And as you say, it can be, a popularity contest with, she's so great, da da da, and but this is the proof of the pudding.
Well, thank you, Lane. That means a lot to me. Do you think that we're missing something?
Pardon?
Do you think that there's something we're overlooking that we're not collecting?
I can't say right now. I mean, I'd have to think about it. But
Right.
I think overall it's a very good evaluation system.
What, Darlene? I saw you pause there. Like,
No, my screen went blank.
oh,
I've got a new computer and it has a touch screen,
oh,
and I'll accidentally touch it, but without not realize what I'm doing.
well, I
But
got
I
a new,
do. Okay, my comment.
yeah,
I thought this was very interesting, and I like the way it's objective. Uh, so it takes away the chance of, like, say, of voting for your popularity thing. But what I see it is, I want to become more involved and don't know how.
okay,
Now, recently when I had 3 AIR letters and you sent me an email and offered to help, up until that point, it never crossed my mind to ask for help.
mm,
And so I don't know how to get across to people that the availability and the willingness to do that. And then,
now I just got to get it done. They're still sitting
and
on
then, so now I have taken all of the GAP courses except registrar, because I'm not a registrar. But I don't have the confidence. Yeah, I'm terrified of the thought of, say, offering to be a balcony volunteer, because I don't know what questions people are going to have, what they're come to, and whether I would have the ability to address their issues. So what I'm needing right now is I'm needing confidence and direction.
Have I got a deal for you?
I love you.
Okay, so we've been talking about, and if you don't know about it, I'm going to keep talking about it. This year's contest is the supplemental application contest. You've just seen that for a volunteer genealogist to be outstanding, they pretty much have to be going outside of their chapter, which a lot of times we like to just help the people in our chapter. That's what it's all about, right? You know, while I am looking for people that would like to help another chapter with supplemental applications. So, Darlene, here's one place that you could work on building that confidence. That you could, because with, a lot of times the DAR does things and we just go, why are they doing this? But when they came up with this 2 reviewer thing, that was a good idea. That was a great idea. And so, with that in mind, too, Darlene, if you would like to be put out there as a reviewer to where you can look at applications that are about ready to be submitted, that would be another place that you could build some confidence by seeing what other people are doing.
And I would like to do that.
Would you like to work with another chapter to help them with their supplementals?
I'm fine with that.
Okay. What is your role, Lane?
I really haven't, I've taken a lot of courses, and when I was treasurer, I was the second chapter review for a lot of EAPs.
Oh, wow.
With
Okay.
Elizabeth. But because I was, authorized by being treasurer. And then when my term was up, I sort of didn't follow up. And so I'm really I'm sort of here for information, to figure out how to get involved. I mean, I was very happy, in that role of being the second reviewer. So
That is a cool thing to do,
yeah.
being a reviewer. I've never done the EAPS or the mid-level reviewer though, Lane. Is that, you said that's what you were doing, right?
Yeah, well, I did take the mid-level review course,
Yeah.
um, but I didn't sign up, um, you know, to do reviews on a active thing. I think
Okay.
that was, while I was treasurer, and I was just snowed under. So
And Lane, I'm probably asking the question wrong. What I guess I was trying to find out is, are you holding an office in your chapter currently?
no,
Okay.
no. Um, Chair of the Franco-American um, liaison, whatever committee.
Yeah. That's a committee that's close to my heart.
Yeah.
Really. And it's funny because I don't have that. Well, I've got a French connection, but it has nothing to do with the American Revolutionary War. But I've never been that drawn to France. But that committee is pretty, I've learned so much. Growing up in the West, I'll tell you what, history is very different than it is out here. I can talk to you about Sacagawea and Lewis and Clark. And then we get down to cowboys and frozen cows, and that's about
Yeah. Yeah, well, I've never lived off the East Coast.
yeah. I'm finding that a lot of people are kind of like that, you know. Susan, have you lived on the East?
Yes, I've lived in Florida, Georgia for over 30 years, Virginia for 4 years, South Carolina. I lived in Charleston before for 4 years, and now I'm here 11 years, and Connecticut for 3 months.
Wow.
So
What about you, Darlene?
I lived most of my life in Tennessee.
Tennessee.
I just moved here 5 years ago.
Now, Clay, I know you're an Aiken, South Carolina girl.
born and raised.
Cindy, that's your motto too, isn't it? Lorene,
Yes.
what's your geographical history?
Well, I have lived in California and Illinois and Texas and Mexico and Florida and Maryland and
Wow.
Maine and here in South Carolina. I
Are
like
you,
South Carolina the best.
so now I don't know if what your stages of life were while you were in all those different places, but did you see that history, of course, was focused on different things than what you see it here?
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, yeah.
I actually wrote a book on the early history of Pasco. You guys are going to find this fun. It was the early history of Pasco, a small town in the eastern side of Washington State. And it was a photo essay, part of the Images of America series. I don't know if you're familiar with those series or not, but um, the history there starts like 1870.
Oh,
When they were bringing the railroad through, I mean, of course, the first 4 or 5 pages is all about Sacagawea and Lewis and Clark because they came out that far and they didn't do anything. They didn't drop a suitcase or build a town. They just passed through. So we've got Sacagawea all over the place out in that area of the world. But yeah, the history just doesn't incorporate the Revolutionary War. We get excited, the DAR members get excited out there when we find a Civil War veteran's grave.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah.
when the towns are built, the
Um,
earliest scrub brush is removed to put something because it's in a desert there, in 1870. You can imagine how excited I get out here where I'm like, really? There was 200 plus battles for the American Revolutionary War out here. It's like that's so. I often thank God for him planting me in South Carolina of all places. I grew up in Colorado. You definitely hear about the Spaniards and the cowboys there, and then all the way to the west where there's a lot of seaboard activity while I was on the eastern side of the state. So we just didn't exist. You know, Coming out here has just been like a feast. It's exciting.
Yeah.
Now, Susan, I know you and Lorene are working very closely together. You're the chapter registrar, correct? And
Yes,
Lorene is your lineage research committee chair.
yes.
I love that. I kudos to you guys for doing that. And like I said, we've got Clay pretty busy. How's that going, Clay?
A little slow right now. I've got 3 applications that are finished. I got a fourth one ready to finish, but I don't have birth certificates for the prospective member
It's
or
often,
or the parents of the prospective member.
and
Having
it's
trouble getting them.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one of it's already hard enough a lot of times for that, but then being the assigned volunteer genealogist, it just makes you one more step removed from being able to get any excitement built on the prospective members side. And I'll talk to their regent about that a little bit more, Clay. I'll be seeing her
Okay.
at the forum.
I
And
I have a
Sid,
question.
yes, Susan, what?
I was just going to say, when I got my first couple of AIR letters, they said to contact the state registrar. Have any of you done that? I wish we had a registrar support group like you all have this group because I would like to have somebody to just ask simple questions to sometimes.
Bring them here. I mean, one of the major focuses of the Volunteer Genealogists Committee is to support our registrars. Now, a lot of times assigned volunteer genealogists have to step in as a ghost registrar. We've got, it's that time in our lives for a lot of us where we've got women whose husbands or health is failing and, they can't, as much as they want to commit to something that they've said that they would do, they've got other things that are pulling on them. And so they have to step back and take care of, and that's a perfect time for an assigned volunteer genealogist to come in. Another thing that they do, Susan, are supposed to be able to do is to train new registrars when the old one's not available to help with any training. So what I'm saying is, please feel free to bring any of your registrar questions here to this committee. It will give us an opportunity to learn together. And that's part of what we're supposed to be doing as far as support to a registrar.
Well, I have a silly question right now. I've got a couple of applications to send in, and I've got some supplementals to send in. Isn't there something in the genealogy guidelines that says you're only supposed to send so many in at a time?
What I believe it says is that a person can submit no more than 6 supplemental applications for themselves at a time.
Okay.
or the queue gets full at 6. Clay's sitting right now. We're watching the clock on. She's got 6 waiting to be worked on at National. You know, she has submitted them. She's got others on her desk that she's waiting. Once those get approved or AIR'd, you know, she'll know where they're sending the next one. It used to be there was no limit, but with the post-pandemic workload that they had to say, okay, everybody's limited to 6. That's the only limit I know of, Susan.
So it's just for the individual. It's
Right.
not that you can't send in this many at a time.
Right.
Thank you. That'll help with
Does that help?
postage.
Yes, yes. Are there
And,
any other
and the other
questions?
question,
Yeah.
do you all send them return receipt requested or anything, or insured or special, anything like that?
I ask for tracking.
Yeah, I get that.
Yep, that's all I ask for. Because return receipt requested might be returned back to you because the DAR will not sign for any mail.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
I hate to interrupt, but I have a date with a veterinarian because my golden retriever once again has ears problems. So
Oh,
I'm sorry, I need to leave, but
you're fine.
I intend to enjoy um join these meetings.
Okay. Love to have you, Elaine. It was good to see you.
Okay, good to see you. Bye. Do-
I really don't like how fuzzy I look. I need to get a new camera. I don't know. I might not like the way I look when I'm not so fuzzy either.
That's all right. I had cataract surgery last week, so I can't see very well out of one eye
There you
still.
go.
So.
We're all good.
I can't get my camera to work. It won't open.
I just don't understand, Lorraine. You are always so easy to look at. Do you have a new computer, Lorraine?
No, I got one error message that it said something that maybe in a recent update, something's happened to me. So I've got to, I don't know. I guess I have to go to the computer club and see what's going on. This is what gets me more than anything is just knowing more about my computer. I mean, to make it work right, to do all these things that I need it to do. All the technical stuff is what's most difficult for me.
I heard you say you got to go to the computer club. Where are you guys located?
It's Sun City and Bluffton. We have a computer club.
That's good.
That has
Yeah.
over 3,000 members.
That is great.
And we have like 4 different help sessions a week where they have volunteers in there that if you're a member, you can go in and you can ask them any kind of questions. We
We
also
don't have-
have a slew of classes on everything. I teach most of the genealogy classes. We have genealogy, we have subgroups. Like I am the co-chair for the
Susan,
genealogy SIG.
Stop.
Yeah.
I want to know about these genealogy classes that you're teaching. Can you send me some information?
They're
Can you
basically
share that
info
with
classes.
the DAR on a Zoom call?
Do what?
You say you're teaching genealogy classes.
Yeah.
Well, why would we not use your abilities in a Zoom call for the Volunteer Genealogists Committee? You would earn points on the outstanding volunteer, and
That's never going to happen.
They would be service to America points, of course, too.
Yeah.
You know, so I would definitely like to know about these courses.
I teach ancestry, newspapers.com. It's just a lot of different ones. Organizing your information. Those are the most popular ones, and I teach them over and over again.
Well, let's pick one. You know, whenever you're ready, soon. You know, we have these meetings twice a month, and that's on the third Saturday, and then however you want to look at it, the third Tuesday and the third Saturday. And you know, a lot of times the Saturday falls before the Tuesday, which is kind of fun. You just never know what you're going to get that way. But I would very much, why I would like to do that, Susan, is we just had our technology tips and tricks, and I was thrilled to find 4 volunteer genealogist people that could share different aspects of tips and tricks.
Right.
I'd like being able to find those of us within the DAR, whether you're a part of this committee or not, because there's no membership role for this committee. You know, show up, we'd love to have you, sort of thing. but to share what they're sharing with the public within the DAR Zoom room, I think would be helpful to a lot of people. And the more we spread the love, the more we don't have one person feeling the burden of carrying everybody. Like Barbara Jers, she is such an extremely excellent, hardcore genealogist. But I think she would appreciate being able to see some more coming up that are interested, that are being trained, you know. And the more that we can do that by having a variety of people share things in a setting like that, would be great.
I'd be happy to in October. Right now, I'm getting through these cataract surgeries, and
Yeah,
I'm traveling the last week of September and the last week of October. But
okay,
other than that, I might have some time.
that would be
And
great.
just the using newspapers is just a whole by itself, not just newspapers.com, because I show a
Good.
lot of different sites. So
Yeah, I had a phone call by someone that said, um, I've got to get this application in because this chapter is waiting for this particular person. She's important and she's going to make a difference, and that's great. And she said, but do I have to wait for the death certificates? And I'm like, no, maybe, what we're looking for is information, not documents. So, and we've talked about that before in here several times. It's the information that we need more than it is a particular type of document that it's on. So, of course, death certificates are always considered the greatest, and that's fine. But a lot of times we can find other things, like a very well written obituary. I've told this story several times, and we're kind of laid back today, so I'll tell it again. Um, I had a prospective member come to me, and we needed her father's death certificate, and she freaked out. She's just like, "Why do you need it?" And I'm like, because that shows the lineage, and. Well, our chapter had a social, and as a prospective member, she came and she brought her husband. And she's like, Susan, I brought my husband so you can talk to him. I'm like, great. So they, Darlene, exactly. I was like, what? Okay. So they kind of cornered me in a corner, which was fine. And he's all like, why do you need her father's death certificate? And I was like, well, if it's done right, it's a perfect picture of a person's life if the information is accurate. And he's like, oh, okay. Well, about a week later, I kind of put it on the back burner because I'm like, okay, this is getting to be very emotional and I don't know what to do about it. I had looked for an obituary and I wasn't able to find one. I was like, there's skeletons in that closet or something. And it's not my drama to pursue. And so she came to me with a document, and it was a court order that her father, his name, had died on this date in this place. And the court order was to open the safe deposit box for his daughters listed. Didn't need the death certificate. Yeah. He was, I had his World War II draft registration or whatever. I don't remember now, whatever other things I had, but I had enough information that it wasn't that I sent that in and did not have a question one. So it's the information, not the document that we need. So this lady interacted with me and she's like, so I don't have the death certificates. Can I get it? I was like, do you have an obituary? You're talking 1970s, 80s, and 90s. These are primo obituary dates. And she's like, well, I looked for newspapers. I'm like, where did you look? Well, newspapers.com. Period. Yeah. I was like, send me information. I found out of the 4 she needed, I found 3 obituaries in Genealogy Bank and the other one in newspaper archives. Yeah. So a lot of times people just get fixated on it has to be in this box. So I'm glad that you're saying, so do you get into chronicling America?
big
What about
time.
this? What about the small town newspaper things or the state driven?
The state historical ones, I talk about that. There was one for a while, it was called Elephant Kind. I talk about the Internet Archive.
Is Elephant Kind still around?
No,
Okay.
no.
I've forgotten about that one.
Yeah, that was the one that had the college, through the colleges, it had historical information.
Yeah.
So, anyway, yeah, just to give you an example of one time I was tracking somebody down in North Carolina and I was up in Boone on vacation, and I went to the local library looking for their North Carolina room, and it was a joke. And this is Boone's not a tiny town. I mean, it's a small town, but not a tiny town. They said, "See that bookshelf over there? That's it." And of course, there was no rhyme nor reason for it. So I went through it, copied, I scanned 100 different pages, went to his oldest historical cemeteries and all that, came back home, processed it all. That wasn't my line.
Oh,
They weren't the Quaker.
well, I had a similar but different.
Oh, and I went to the Appalachian State College. They had in their room, they had the manuscripts. They had big boxes of it, and they had some family trees that were written out, but only in that library. So, I mean, I tried everything I knew how to do, but it didn't work. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I went to Vidalia, Georgia. Do you guys know
I dare you.
that one?
I
Went,
dare you.
yeah, with a prospective member. And we were hoping to find obituaries because we'd looked at every on-site place that we could look for. Susan, it's a long story, which a lot of it's just not to the point of the story fluff as far as the personalities in the library and the ownership that some of the volunteers have. They don't want you touching their readers and stuff like that. It was kind of cute in a way. But then we finally did get to look at the microfilm that they had of the newspapers, and the pages were not in order of the newspapers. And the dates of the week were random. It was a worthless microfilm. And I don't know, at that point, it was just like, this is too big for me. You know, when you're trying to scroll through and see if you can find, we were looking actually for, she ended up being a close friend. And we were looking for the birth announcements of her father, when he was a little baby and he was born. We thought that would be really cool. And by this time we had we had been planning on going to work on our application for a while, but by the time we actually took the trip, the application was in the mail, but we still wanted to go play, And so we thought we'd look for her father's birth announcement. And honestly, it was like, wait a minute, how did we get from Friday to Tuesday and now we're at Wednesday? And you had to, not every page of a newspaper has got the information of the page number or the date on it, depending upon how far back you go. So I don't know what that town's going to do as far as digitizing their papers with that, because that microfilm's completely useless.
It won't happen, most likely. I've looked in digitized books through FamilySearch also, books that are not digitized, and I had to scan through 500 pages to finally find the one page that had my persons on it.
I know I get spoiled because that was part of what we used to have to do genealogy, and now there's so much online, but you're right, it's not all there. No. And I mean, it took us how many thousands of years to accumulate the paperwork that we've got that we're trying to get digitized in the last, 10? So. All right, you guys, I know it's a short meeting, but if there's any other questions, we could discuss them. I know that a lot of us are looking forward to getting to Fall Forum and then getting back into the DAR year shortly after that. But any other points or comments?
During Saturday's meeting, what did you come up with for how to cite the FamilySearch information when you're doing full text? Did you come up with something?
Yeah, we did go through an example. The most frustrating part of it was trying to come up with a good example. Hang on, let me see if I can find one real quick and we can walk through that again. Give me a second, get there.
Do you have,
what was that?
Or you can just send me a copy of how to properly cite it or something.
Me too.
Well, I haven't really written it out. I kind of did.
Well, is it just you copy down all the letters and the numbers and symbols and everything, and that's what you put in your citation?
It's a little bit more complicated than that. I hate to say it like that. Hang on just a second. Um, who was it? It was Barbara Lewis asked me for how to help her with this one particular citation. And so I said, okay, I'm going to write it in this email to her. I'm going to write down every step I take. And that's about the only written one we've got because it's just a little bit convoluted. It just is.
It seems logical that you could just like copy down the whole citation, then put comma, family search, colon.
That would be logical.
That's what I usually do.
I no, I'll show you what they want. Do you have does anybody have a good example that they've got available in Family Search text that they want to see if they can find the correct citation for? Because that's what our biggest problem was Saturday, was finding a good example.
I can look at the one that I'm working on. I can get the right mouse. Here we go.
Susan, also, if you be sure, make sure I'm on the Tuesday list for distribution for the Zoom calls.
I've got that note written down.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, this is for film number. You ready?
I'm writing it down. Go ahead.
181734.
Okay, what I want to do is get to it. First, I want to go through Family Search family or full search text. So you want to give me a query that might show up in the text, a query idea. Who's it for?
Is it a probate or?
Yeah, it's a probate record.
Okay, but who's the
I mean, do
person?
you want the whole, you want to write down the whole citation?
No, right now what I want is the name of the person that this this film 181734 is referring to, and see if we can pull it up with full text search.
It is for, what is her name? Get over there, out of my way. Just use Archibald Tittle, Tittle.
Tittle.
Yes.
And we've got him down to 31. Give me a place.
Abbeville.
Second one.
He says probate. Sure, let's just try this one.
Next one down. Next
Okay.
one down is.
Okay, so we've gone through full search, full text search, and we want whatever the record is. This is what we want to be able to cite. This record is key. We need this record. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first write down the image number. This to me ends up being really important, okay? Because if I lose my place, I need to go back to it. And then there's other times that it may help me understand if I'm on the right film strip or whatever. So that's the first thing I do.
Where are you getting the image number from?
In the left-hand corner, am I screen sharing? Do you
Got
guys
it.
see this?
Got it.
So this is image 180 of 472.
Got it.
Okay. And I might want to write down, a lot of times I'll know that I'm looking for Abbeville, but I'll go ahead and write down Abbeville probate records. And 1782 to 1958. Okay. So then I'll go over here to information. Do you guys see that? It's up in this title
Yes.
search area, and click on that. And what that gives me is what the problem is that there's a disconnect between the DAR and Family Search. And about the time that we learn this process, it will change because FamilySearch is about ready to change their numbering system and how they categorize their films. But we don't know when that will be, or how DAR is going to embrace it when that happens. But right now, for this particular image, we've got an image group number here of 00. I'm going to write this down. 00475278 Now I can click on it. And that's the image group number. Oh, look at this. This one turned out pretty smooth. And I've got one of 472. Remember, I was on image 180 of 472.
So
this,
you write the of so many, the number, like
Oh, that's
one
just-
of 472 or just the one?
Susan, that's completely for your records. It has nothing to do with the citation yet. We do not cite images. Why it was important to me is I wrote down 180 of 472 for my own reference so that I could find out if I was looking at the right film strip or not.
Got it.
And here's where that number is that Clay was talking about. There's another way we could get to it. I'll show you that. Yep. 181, isn't that what you said, Clay?
Yes.
181687. Okay, so going to our citation worksheet, which honestly, guys, I don't do an application without this thing.
Wait a minute. No, that doesn't match what I gave you.
No, you're right, it doesn't.
It's the number I gave you was 181734.
Well, okay, so then we need to go back to our full text search. It's kind of hard when you already know the number when. Let's see. I'm fighting with this share thing up here too. Let's see. Usually, Clay, when you're trying to write a citation, you don't know what the film number is. And that's what we're trying to do is determine the film number. So that's why it might make it a little hard. So I'm still going to write down. Here we're on image 405 of 457 so that I can find it again. One way that you can do it, depending upon the films, that's another thing that makes it challenging. But I can go to the first image by just putting a 1 up in this image box here. Did you see me do that? I replaced that 405 with a number 1. And I didn't get the film number that Clay wanted this time either. But right now, for this example, let's just use this 181702. Okay. When we look over here, over here, let me show you. Here's the citation worksheet that I was talking about. I can't build an application without it. I don't want to anyway. I feel uncomfortable. I feel undressed. For online sources, they give examples on this 4-page worksheet on this came right out of the genealogical guidelines, this 4-page worksheet. And so what they're saying is, here's the way that the examples were in the genealogy guidelines. And as you can see here, there's a roll number. I'm sorry, what? So going back, I'm just going to do this. Okay, you guys see the film strip number again?
Yeah.
Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll through here a little bit because in the front of a lot of these films, they explain exactly what it is. Probate court records, box numbers 50 and 51, package numbers 1136 to 1208. Okay, so for me, what was that, Lorraine?
I didn't say anything.
Okay, so knowing that this is a set of sets, what I would do in this situation is I would go back to my image of 405. Now I want to look down here at this bottom film strip and see if we can find a page divider. Oop, I'll go the other way. that makes it look like it's in a different file folder. Does that make it sense to anyone? Any questions about that? Okay, this is Archibald Tittle. This is the estate of Joseph Johns, so I've gone too far. Here we go. Oh, I see what the problem is I'm looking at is this is not Archibald Tittle's estate, it's somebody else's, which is fine. Or is it?
It should be
It's
James.
Archibald. I see him, Archibald. Isn't
Mhm.
that Archie right at the bottom? Yeah, Archibald Tittle.
I see his name too, but I think he's a witness. It's not his estate.
Right.
Oh,
Okay, so
Yeah. What the number that I gave you is a probate record for Archibald's wife's grandparents.
so can you give me some clues on
So
how?
it's for James Devlin. And it is the guardianship record for James Devlin's grandchildren.
Okay, so let's start all over then.
All right. So if you want to get the same document I'm looking at, or you can pick any document, it all works the same way.
Okay,
But the document that it's in is 181734.
but we don't always know that, Clay. That's what
But
we're trying
all
to.
right, you can do a full text search and get it.
That's what I'm trying to do. You want to help me?
Yeah.
Okay, so
So
walk me
do a
through.
search for Archibald Tittle, because there won't be a whole lot.
Yeah.
For
So
let me see.
got Archibald Tittle up there.
First one's he's in debt.
You know what? The fact view might help us see if we can get that Devlin name to pop up. Or we can. Well, there's only, if you're saying it's Abbeville, there's only 30.
Are you in Abbeville?
There were 7 in Abbeville. Okay.
oh, there he is. Probate 782, 1958.
So go up into the top of your original search bar. I can't read it really good, but that very top thing that gives you another field to
Right.
put in, you've got that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Put in
Devlin.
Mary.
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 Whoop. Nada.
How did I find this one? I found it on a full text search.
Do you think did I spell Tittle wrong?
Tittle.
No.
How do you spell Archibald?
Archibald.
Take the E out.
Yeah.
I don't have any Archibald.
Correct.
So, I mean, we can still use any one of these as an example if you want to, Clay, but if you're trying, I mean, if you've got, okay, what I'm hearing you say, and maybe I'm wrong, is that you want to know how to write a citation for this film that you keep talking about. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to go into FamilySearch. We're not going to do the full search text, and we're going to do search. Let me see. Hang on.
You can go to images under search.
Look at how much you guys know. That's great. But I don't go that way. So, okay, search.
And images was one of the, yeah. Oh, no, that's the wrong type of image. Sorry. That's pictures.
Okay,
My apologies.
that's all right. So search, what I usually do is search catalog since I've got a film number. And so I do this film fish image number of 181734. Whoops. 181734.
There you go.
This is what I learned Saturday. I can put it right here. I used to scroll through each page to find it. Okay, Clay, here we go. Now
Okay.
yep.
He's in box 115.
Okay. Is there a package number?
Yep.
Do you have an image number?
3382 with a package number.
Okay. Do you know where that's in here? I mean, we could look for it. Do you know where it's at?
It's not very far down.
Okay.
I'll tell you if you want me to, but
Well, yeah, I don't
I
understand.
mean, because if you look, you can see that they're folders.
Right.
Because there's no page numbers in these.
Right, because they're loose documents.
They're loose documents, but you see the little darker things like on the third one down, second one down now from the left. That one. All right. That gives you the package number.
Okay.
So that gives you an idea of where you are in the package numbers.
So we need to go up. Whoops. Okay, so
you can look at the first one and see what that is. That knows you where your starting is.
Well, it's 3382 right there. Is that what you're saying? Is that the package?
I can't.
Is that what you want?
Is that James Devlin?
James Dyson.
Okay, it's not that one. What's the package number?
3382. That's what you said you wanted, right?
3382 is the package number we're looking for.
You can use the right arrow there
Right. I can use it for what?
to go to the one she said.
Well, no, because this is a loose document file, so that.
All right, go up on the top right there.
So these are loose papers.
Those are loose papers. All right, if you go down three to the third row down to the right, there's another folder right there.
And this is 3383. James Devlin.
That's the one.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
So.
And then if you don't know where that image is, you have to keep scrolling, but it's in image 48 if you want to save time.
it's in 48. Yeah.
Yeah, just put in 48 there.
So what you're saying is this is the image that you want to cite?
That's the image that's in my citation.
Okay. So how did you write the citation?
I wrote the citation. Gotta get the right. So I wrote Abbeville District, comma, probate recs, 1782 to 1958, box 115, package 3382. And because it says item 1 on you remember when you pulled it up, there were 2 boxes.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So it's item 1. And then FHL roll number 181734. And that's the citation I will put on the application.
Do you put FamilySearch on after that and then the semicolon?
No. Because if you go and you look at the citation worksheet that we were looking at for examples, they don't need FamilySearch. If you see family history library roll number.
Oh, okay.
But again, they want that roll number, that 181734. They don't want the DGS number, which is what we are wanting to give them. They want the roll number.
Do they want the package in the box number?
I don't think it's a bad idea. If you look at
they want the map to get there.
Okay.
That's the hard part about the full search text. I did one last week, and it was the Bureau of Land Management. And there were, I think, 300 pages to go through to find which. But I had found it on full search text. So, and I really learned how easy it is to add that number when you get into the big group where there's lots of pages. You know, if you've got 5 pages, that's pretty easy to find it. But you've got 300 pages, it's going to take you a week to go through them. And you put that number back in the box where you can put the film number, and at least you can get to the record. And a lot of times they'll be indexed, and then you can hit the little thing that looks like a legal piece of paper, and that will get you there faster because you can. They're indexed, and you can just put the person's name in.
Clay, what were you trying to prove with all of this, since it was a grandchild and grandfather and everything else?
I'm trying to prove
Connection?
the links, because the links are missing,
Okay.
because the parents and the grandparents died before 1850. So I have to go. I got a grandchild to go pick up from school.
Thank you, Clay.
Workshop
But
on this.
we can work on it again.
Thank you, Clay.
Y'all have a good day.
So all the supplementals that I've sent in, where I've just sent in the address with all the gibberish on, they're going to all be returned to me, right?
I would like you to let me know. I don't know.
Okay.
I have heard new member applications that don't have that little box checked, that the new member would be willing to take a substitute, get returned if that box is not checked. You know?
Yeah.
So, which upsets me, because the way they've got it worded, it's supposed to be a choice. When I went to the GRI, I was told in one of the lectures that it's not really a choice, it's to open up the conversation, and the box is there to make sure you have the conversation.
I'm going to go to the GRA in May.
Good.
So
We have a lot of fun. We really do. What's really kind of cool about it is there were 180 of us last year. Susan, that's not a hard number to be in a conference with. You know what I mean?
no, yeah, I go to the National Genealogical Society once every year too, and that you have 1,500 people.
Right.
So,
And
yeah.
I've been to Rootstock where they've got 3,000 people wondering how I was going to navigate through all these bodies, and they did a great job. But to have 180 of us, and we've got run of the DAR building and the library, and I mean, it's kind of nice. Yeah, it's kind of a fun thing, you know. So yeah, do it. I was really proud of South Carolina. Out of the 180 members that went, we had 9. That's a good showing for a smaller state. It's a good showing for any state. Lorraine, did you say you'd like to have a workshop on this?
To break it down a little more, because it was a little fast for me to get all that.
I am going to try to get the video out from last Saturday's meeting before Fall Forum. I told everybody I was going to have it done. Now I'm like, I'm really going to try to have it done.
No, you warned us that you might not have it done. That's okay.
Hopefully that will answer a lot of questions, but we could do better. Of course, we could have a workshop on this, hon. I think that's a great. I always like you guys' ideas like that. So
Have fun at Fall Forum.
yes. Were you saying something, Lorraine?
Yeah. Did you get help for your table? Oh, good.
And I gotta give kudos out. You know, I was feeling very overwhelmed, needing some help at the Fall Forum booth. And I ended up with 3 people that spoke up and said, one said, here's my cell phone number, send out the back call anytime you need, you know. And so the other 2, I scheduled it, and everybody ended up with like 1 hour both days. You know, so it was an overwhelming amount of work for anyone when we got that. And yet I could go ahead and do what I needed to do with the other things that I've got going on and still have fun at the booth. I didn't feel kicked out, you know, so it worked out really good. But all right, I'll see those of you that are going to be there. And don't forget to come and get your cape. I don't care if you're just there for a little bit, Cindy. It'd be cool if you wear it at the registration desk.
Yeah.
When is our next workshop? What day?
You talking about meetings here in the Zoom?
Yeah, these meetings.
It would be this, it's the third Saturday and the third Tuesday of each month. So let's look at that. Maybe if I could.
That's the 20th. This is the Saturday.
And the 16th.
You still need help in October on Hilton Head Island, Susan, with something? Remember?
I did ask you if you wanted to help. I think we've got it. I think we've got it. You're welcome to come. They're going to have a workshop and you guys are all welcome to come. I mean, I'll just send out the invitation. You need to let Laura Scandrett know if you want to come because they're going to have a lunch and everything. But it's going to be a supplemental application workshop. And Captain William Hilton chapter is one of those that has not done a supplemental application for 2 years. So
They're very short-staffed, and the same regent has kindly let herself. She's had at least 2 terms,
yes,
and so yeah,
I think
it's an aging chapter.
Well, I think she's finishing her 6th year as regent.
Yeah.
So she's got a new regent coming in, but
she's great.
She has worked so hard. She really has. But if you guys are interested in going, get a hold of Laura Scandrett, and that's with the Captain William Hilton chapter. I don't know, honestly, with where her chapter's at, if there's going to be a lot of people attending. So I think anybody that would.
Yeah, I know some other people that belong there because some of them belong to both Emily Geiger and Captain William Hilton.
Well, yeah, I encourage Laura to get the word out to the district because that's how we've gotten the bigger meetings that we've had. I think we had 26 that the Susanna Smith Elliott chapter hosted, but that we ended up crossing over a couple of districts because the communities are right there on the district line, you know, so that worked out really good.
Also, Susan, I've met online or just through emailing Linda Shortlow.
Yes.
Yeah, she's in Belgium right now or coming home.
Yep. Yeah, she told me that you guys talked about me.
Yeah, we did all good. Yeah. But I didn't know whether you were regent or registrar.
Yeah, well, I was regent until May and now I'm registrar.
Okay.
So I was regent, now I'm not.
So she thought you were registrar when she joined.
I think I was.
Oh,
and
okay.
I was regent and then I was registrar.
All right.
Yeah. All right, you guys, we will see you this weekend. If not, we will see you right here in the same Zoom room in September.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right. Bye.
Uh,